What's up, metalheads? Welcome back to the Scrap Metal Podcast, the show for the misfits who've been listening to the same music since high school. I'm your host, John Von Frankenstein, and joining me today is my metal thrashing mad co-host, Chris. Chris, I gotta ask you, man, how you feeling?
I gotta say, I am feeling tiny.
Tiny, they're toony, they're all together loony. And in this cartoony, they're invading your TV. Chris, does this feeling of minusculosity, have anything to do with how you're keeping your heavy metal street cred?
As usual, probably not. But
I'm glad that we have kept that as a constant.
Yes, that is the ongoing bit, is that I actually have no heavy metal street cred, and this is just my opportunity to do some bit or talk about whatever I'm doing at the time.
What else are podcasts for?
Exactly. It's, a couple of dudes talking about crypto and protein and, their stock portfolio and whatever else, but...
Hell yeah.
Anyway, I've been a longtime follower of the Ren Fair performer Leah Orleans, who puts on a show that she calls the Tiny Girl Big Show. And
okay.
She makes a big deal about like how short she is. I think she's like just under 5 feet tall or something. But it's, your typical circus performer stuff. She's juggling knives. She's riding a unicycle, jumping rope on her unicycle. And the finale is always shooting a bow and arrow and popping a balloon, but shooting the bow and arrow with her feet. Oh. So that's always a lot of fun, and she's always posting a lot of funny videos. I think last summer she had a whole quote-unquote feud with a fellow Ren Fair performer, Jacques the Whipper, who like goes up and does like whip tricks and like sings songs to the whip cracks and everything.
The guy that does the whip. Okay, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, so there's also, I think at the Pennsylvania Ren Fair every year, there's a guy that's known as Slayer Guy who always requests Slayer. And like if anyone else tries to request Slayer, Jacques will like call them out and be like, "No, you're not Slayer, man. You can't request Slayer." But
how dare you?
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, I've been following Leah Orleans for a while, and I still haven't made it up to the New York Ren Fair where she performs all the time. But not too long ago, she announced an off-Broadway adults-only version of her show that she was calling the Tiny Bitch Shit Show.
Okay.
And so when I saw that, I really wanted to go, and unfortunately couldn't go in person. But thankfully, she announced a live stream, and so I was able to buy a ticket to the live stream to watch it.
Nice.
The show also featured Morgan Howard and Chloe Baldwin, two people that are like always involved with her shows. And even though I couldn't go in person, I felt like I couldn't pass up the opportunity to see this Ren Fair throuple, like, juggle dildos and make sex jokes, because she kept showing behind the scenes with all three of them, like writing the jokes and everything. And I was like, this looks like a lot of fun. So that's what I did recently. I watched this live stream. It was a lot of fun. She did a lot of stuff that I knew that she did, like the bow and arrow and like the unicycle and everything. But yeah, the juggling dildos and then juggling a knife with the dildos was a lot of fun. And it was just a lot of fun to watch. And I know if I ever see her at the Ren Fair, it won't be this R-rated version of the show, but it just makes me want to go see her in person even more.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. Oh my God. I could just imagine juggling the dildos and knives blind and then being like, all right, which one am I actually sticking my hand out for?
Yeah.
That sounds like a very dangerous game. Very, very dangerous. Blunt object or something super pointy. No, you never know. You never know.
Yep.
That's why we leave that kind of stuff to the professionals.
Yes.
So I've been keeping my heavy metal street cred by having a bit of a manic moment. And Chris, you've probably already seen, going to do a bit of a reveal here. But yes, I did, in fact, get my eyebrows done and get a little bit of Botox on my forehead. So, no, I got my hair cut. I chopped it all off in a manic moment of like, this is the only thing in my life I can control right now. And lots of my friends were like, oh God, it's like breakup bangs pretty much. It was time though. It was time, something fresh, something new. For any of our YouTube audience, this is probably the first time you've ever seen me with short hair, if you've been following the show. But at the beginning, when we first started this up, I had pretty short hair.
Yeah.
I don't think it was until we got, a ways into the show that I started growing my hair back out. And I had it long like that for what, like 4 years maybe at this point?
Yeah.
So almost
it's
4.5 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it was probably it's been a while. It was probably the longest that I've had my hair that long in a long time. It was really fun, but I am enjoying the shorter cut and much, much shorter showers. But a lot of this also ties into, I was like, oh, I'm opening myself up to more Halloween possibilities now. Now that I don't have the long hair, I don't mind buzzing my hair to do a Bane costume, or I could just wear a silly wig and not have to, put my hair into a bun under a bald cap or something like that if I wanted to be Pitbull. So yeah, it does open a lot of things up. But that being said, I was trying to teach my son the classic trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. And I couldn't remember how the rest of it went. But in my head, I was going, trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. If I die before I wake, pray the Lord my soul to take. And it got me thinking about the fact that with trick-or-treaters, they are normally thinking they're always going to get a treat.
Yes.
They never expect the trick. And Chris, this episode idea you came to me with is a bit of a trick. We're going to be doing blind reactions to some of our favorite albums. Chris, I love this idea. I think this is diabolical. I think that you truly are the master of tricks. Why don't you go ahead and intro us to this brilliant episode idea of yours?
So, yeah, I pitched the idea of blind rankings because I saw other podcasters and content creators doing the same shit. And I thought, hey, that looks like a lot of fun. So the idea I pitched is that me and John pick out 5 albums for the other person to blind rank. And we're going to name them one by one. And we're going to have to rank them 1 through 5 without knowing what the next album is. And I made sure to point out to John that the idea should be to make this a challenge. It should be, the albums that we pick should be albums that we would have a hard time ranking if we knew what they were. Don't come to me with Testament's The New Order and then follow it up with, Famous Monsters, Lulu, and The Wiggles, Because if Lulu ends up at number 1, no one's going to be happy about that. So, that was really the idea, is that we're going to give each other these 5 albums one at a time, and we got to rank them 1 through 5 without knowing what's coming up next. But to at least make it where it would be a challenge, where we're going to be like, oh, do we save that number 1 spot? Do we instantly put this album at number 5 and decide this is probably going to be our least favorite album that's listed? So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about the list of albums I put together for you, and I'm looking forward to the albums you have for me.
I'm scared of this. Oh my God, because if my history teaches me anything, it's hard to pick a favorite child, same way that it's hard to pick a favorite album. I don't know. I'll be honest, I was a bit confused by the concept at first, and then I was like, oh, okay. Once you explained it to me, I was like, give me the elevator pitch, please. I want to make sure that I understand exactly what I'm trying to put together here. And then as I was sitting here looking at the list of albums that I'd come up with for you, I was like, oh shit, should I have made this a little bit harder for Chris? But I think I think there's going to be some curveballs in there. I hope so, at least. Now I'm thinking maybe it's all in the delivery, the order that I give them to you in, and that's going to make the difference.
Yes, because I even just before we started recording, I was like, all right, let me make sure I put these in an order that might make this more of a challenge.
Yeah. All right. Chris, you want to do the honors? You want to give us the first album you want me to blind rank?
All right. So the first album I got for you is Limp Bizkit's Significant Other.
I fucking knew it. Okay. All right. Okay, so, all right, hold on. Okay, you could just put that meme of the woman with the numbers floating around. It's okay, Significant Other by Limp Bizkit. On its merits alone, considering that it's an album with many of their classics, all right, we've got Nookie, you've got Break Stuff, you've got Rearranged. You've got In Together Now, which is also a great fucking song, with the Method Man. Oh, God.
When I was looking through the track list, I also saw two songs we recently talked about is Show Me What You Got.
Show Me What You Got,
and the Matt Pinfield rant. So I figured those were things we talked about recently as well that might influence your ranking of this album.
Okay, gut reaction, because I know this is I know this is a gotcha. I'm gonna put this at number 3.
Okay. All right.
To be safe, to save myself a little bit of room. I couldn't go any lower than that out of respect for our dear Sam Rivers. Oh my God, rest in peace. That was such a out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Ace Frehley, and then a few days later getting the news that Sam Rivers had passed away too.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, just Rearranged was Limp Bizkit's only number 1 radio hit, right? So like that alone shows you how great of an influence Sam's bass playing and his bass lines and his feel had on the band.
Yeah.
Let alone like not to mention the fact that Sam was the first musician that Fred Durst had reached out to, because this was all the brainchild of Fred Durst, who was like, I want to do something that's metal, but I want to do something that's hip hop. And Sam was like, cool, let's do it. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Sam's the one who brought John Otto in, his cousin.
Yeah.
So John Otto taking us to the Matthews Bridge would not have been possible without Sam Rivers. So yeah, for that reason, and just for my love for the, Limp, Bizkit. I'm gonna put it at number 3. I might regret that. Who knows?
All right. We'll see. But yeah, so we got it locked in. Limp Bizkit, Significant Other at number 3.
I'm so scared. All right. You hitting me with that. I've got, okay. I was going to save this one for later on, but I'm going to hit you. My first blind ranking that I've got set up for you is The Art of Drowning by AFI.
Oof. Oh, man. Oh, boy.
An album which I've been listening to a lot since Davey Havok's interview on the Hard Lore podcast.
Yeah.
Great 2-episode series there.
Yeah. Oh, man. Art of Drowning. That's a tough one. Oh, man. Because that's like, see, this is the transitional period for AFI for me, where they're deep in their horror punk stuff.
Right.
And this is like the second album with Jade, so they've changed up their sound, but oh man, there's so many good songs off of that I can't remember the names of any of them except for Days of the Phoenix. But
okay. That's what I was going to ask, if Days of the Phoenix was on this or if it was on Black Sails.
No, Days of the Phoenix is off of this one, but I know there's a ton of songs off of this the whole fucking album is so good. Fuck.
This is fun.
This is fun. And this is good. See, since this album it's not my favorite AFI album, but it's probably it's up there as one of my favorites. But I mean,
okay.
Like you started off with, it's hard to pick a favorite. It's like picking a favorite child. I'm going to put this, I'm going to put this at number 4.
Okay.
I'm going to put this at number 4.
Number 4.
Because like I said, it's not even my favorite from AFI. It's great from AFI.
Yeah.
And I love it and I listen to it all the time. But I want to leave room and I want to see what else you got for me. And so since this is an album, it's hard for me to think of a list of albums that I would be like, this is absolutely number 1. Unless, like I said, you start hitting me with Saint Anger and, stuff like that. So yeah, I think Art of Drowning, I'll keep it at number 4.
Okay. All right. What if you had to pick a favorite song on there? I know you said you only remember Days of the Phoenix off the top of your head now, but if you had to pick a favorite song off the album, what would it be?
Oh, fuck. Here's the problem with AFI. They never say the titles of their songs in the song.
Okay.
So I don't know what any of the fucking songs are called.
Sing it to us. Give us the karaoke version.
I feel like I'm going to look it up very quickly, because what I remember is when, I did a radio show and I'm pretty sure the song I liked was track number 5.
Okay.
That's about as far as I remember, but I do know there is a song on there that isn't even a hit, or Sacrifice Theory. That's my favorite song off of the album because it's a very punky song. That and A Story at 3. I remember learning how to play the intro to A Story at 3 on the guitar.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite things to play. So I'd say Sacrifice Theory and A Story at 3, those are my favorite songs off of that album. But yeah, that's a good album. I like it.
Nice. Nice. All right, let's get our next selection here.
All right, so the next album I got for you is Black Label Society, Mafia.
I knew it. I fucking knew Black Label was going to show up. All because I've been talking shit recently. So Black Label recently released a new single, and it's good.
Yeah.
But it's not. I've been saying for years now, unfortunately, Zach has been putting out the same album for the last few years. In my opinion, I feel like Order of the Black is the last like album with some real standout tracks. Crazy Horse, that song is the whole reason I got my chest piece. But I love Black Label Society. They're all one of my all-time favorite bands. Zach Wild is one of my all-time favorite guitarists. And the Mafia album, okay, couple tracks, couple tunes. I mean, they usually end their shows nowadays with Fire It Up, which is awesome. That's a good jam. Suicide Messiah's on there.
Yep.
In This River's on there.
Yep. The two reasons I picked the album, because those are the only two songs I know and like.
What's in You Now is great. Oh, shoot. What is the one I'm thinking of? Electric Hellfire, King of Electric Hellfire, something like that. Where he starts it off the same way as what is it, Arthur Smith?
Oh, yeah,
the guy that we covered in our Masked Men episode?
all those many episodes ago.
Yeah.
Halloween episode where we talked about, the King of Fire, or the King of Hellfire.
Damn. Okay. I would say because of the guitar work on the album, and the fact that the ballads on this album still felt like good songs. The latest ballads on Black Label albums have been snore fests. and that's coming from someone who absolutely loves Zach Wild's Book of Shadows. That's someone who loves the ballads off of the earlier albums. You know, Spoke in the Wheel, Rust, stuff like that. I'm going to put this at number... Oh, I might be shooting myself in the foot. I'm going to put this at number 2. No.
Boy.
Nope. Gut decision. I'm putting this at number 2.
All right. So we got Black Label Society Mafia locked in at number 2.
Damn. I knew they were going to show up. The fact that they're up this early scares me. Which, okay. That being said, Chris, my next album for blind ranking for you is Severed Survival by Autopsy.
Oh, fuck.
Which I went nuts looking for because there's 2 different covers of the album.
Yes.
And I'm like, this isn't the right one. I was looking for the one with the zombie doctors doing the surgery and whatnot.
Oh, see, the only one I know is the one with the dude with all the hooks in him.
Looks like Uncle Frank in Hellraiser.
I love, there's a meme of Patrick from SpongeBob where he's got all the hooks from the what's it, like the carnival episode? They think it's the carnival, but it's fishing. And it's him pasted on the album cover for Severed Survival.
Incredible.
But yeah, this is one of those albums that if you told me to start naming my favorite albums, I don't think I would list this album.
Okay.
But now that you've mentioned it, I'm like, shit, this is a really good fucking album. Because like fucking Ridden with Disease is phenomenal. In the Grip of Winter, Service for a Vacant Coffin. I was just listening to this album the other day in the car. I fucking love this album.
Awesome.
Oh,
See,
man.
I knew you'd brought it up enough where I was like, oh, this might be like a New Order situation where I know you're a fan of it, but we haven't harped on it a ton.
Yeah. It's definitely an album that like me and my brother will talk about all the time. Right. We were very disappointed because we've been collecting cassettes for a while now. Mm-hmm. And my brother bought this album on cassette and it's a cassette from the year it came out. It's not a reissue. And unfortunately, because the cassette has been around since, I think that album came out like 88 or 89 or some shit like that. This cassette's been around for a while, and side B sounds like shit. So it's disappointing for that. But shit, I'm going to leave room for myself. I'm going to put this at number 3. I'm putting this above AFI. Because I think, again, putting the two albums against each other, I feel comfortable putting Autopsy over AFI. I'm not sure what's going to end up in that number 5 spot behind the two of them. But yeah, I feel good putting Autopsy at number 3 because, oh man, that's a good fucking album too. Like I said, I was just listening to it. I love it.
All right. Number 3.
Yep. All right. All right. So the next album I got for you, John, is Ghost and their debut album, Opus Eponymous.
All right. This has got to be number 1. It's got to be number 1. It's got to be number 1 because it was the album that it took me so long to love this album and to even appreciate the band.
Yeah.
But once I did and it clicked, this album hits hard.
Yes.
This album hits so hard. And sometimes you've got bands that you're like, man, I wish they were still doing, what they used to do back in the day. I wish that they were still putting out the music that they had 2 albums ago.
Yeah.
Me with Black Label Society.
Yeah.
I long for the days where the lyrics weren't "it is what it is" or "face your fear, accept your war." Like shit like that. That's all he sings about nowadays. But with Ghost, I'm glad that every album is so distinctly of that era that it takes you back to that time where you can really immerse yourself in the thought that this was a different singer, this was a different era of the band, right?
Yeah.
And I love the horror imagery right off of the cover.
Yes.
Right, doing a riff off of the Salem's Lot movie poster. I love the Sabbathy inspired riffs and songwriting that's on there. I love that, possibly due to Tobias's confidence not being where it is now. The vocal melodies and things like that were a little bit simpler. He wasn't being so daring as he is now on Skeletor. So there's a simplicity to it and a sort of caveman mentality to it that just makes it so good and gives it a really cool, like that caveman feel. Death Knell. Elizabeth's probably the most technically challenging song on the album. Conclave con Dio. Oh, shoot. What is it? Genesis? Genesis is a great song.
The
is
instrumental.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Coming out of Prime Mover, which Prime Mover probably took me the longest to get into as a song. Satan's Prayer. I mean, just like classic banger after banger after banger. Yeah. Easy number 1. I'm safe with that. The only way I'm going to regret this is if you bring up Milli Vanilli. I'm going to be like, no! Why?
Oh,
girl,
boy.
you know it's true. All right, Chris, the next album that I'm going to hit you with for your blind ranking is Friendship, Loyalty, Commitment. There's no commas there. By 25 to Life.
25 to Life. This is a good one, man. This is a good one. We've talked a lot about 25 to Life.
Oh, yeah.
We have.
Yeah, we have.
know, and I believe this album has. See, it's. I've listened to a lot of 25 to Life, but I don't remember what specifically off of which albums. I believe this album does have the song Over the Years, which I believe was in a Tony Hawk game.
Okay.
So that was like one of the first 25 to Life songs I heard. I want to say Fight Dirty is on this album. I really don't know. Because there's so many, and then there's different versions of songs. Like I want to say it's
like Haters Be Damned, I think, has a version of Fight Dirty on it, right?
Yeah. And there's another song that I'm thinking of that oh man, I'm blanking on the names of all the fucking songs that I love from 25 to Life now. But yeah, there's another song that I know that I think the version that's on this album isn't even the version that I like. It's, I love 25 to Life, but I think I'm going to put this in number 5.
Okay.
Right. just because, like I said, like I listen to 25 to Life, but even comparing it to AFI and Autopsy, I think those would rank above this album anyway. But yeah, you know, I love 25 to Life, but I feel like it's been a while since I've listened to this particular album in its entirety. So I think that's what's also adding to some of my comfort in putting it at number 5, because it's just been a while since I've listened to this album.
All right.
I think I feel okay with that, putting it at number 5.
Okay. All right. It's not as much of a curveball as I thought it might be for you, but
yeah, it's, you know, because, you know, like, I get it, because I talk about 25 to Life, and, you know, talking about
one of the
Rick to
people
Life.
that you talk more passionately about 25 to Life than I've ever heard anyone talk about 25 to Life before. That's why.
And I think part of that is because they're a band that I associate with when I was in high school and doing my high school radio station and doing the high school radio show. And, you know, the other DJ introducing me to 25 to Life, and the two of us doing our Rick to Life impressions, and then inviting other New York and Long Island hardcore bands to this high school radio station to interview them, because we're the only people playing their music. And you've got 6 dudes in a studio doing their Rick to Life impression. Like, it's so funny. And it's one of those things that, like, yeah, everyone in the hardcore scene has a Rick to Life impression. No one ever does it in front of Rick to Life. We all do it to each other, but if he's in the room, we're not doing it. But I'm glad I'm the one who talks about 25 to Life the most, though. I'm proud of that, at least.
You saying when I was younger, or what you said something along those lines, I just thought of remaking the Black Parade as a song about going to see 25 to Life. When I was a young boy,
my father
took me to the city
to
see a hardcore band.
He said, "Bleh, bleh, bleh, bleh."
I was confused. It was 25 to Life.
Oh man. All right. Where are we? All right. Here's one that maybe will make you regret your ranking so far. Let's see what happens.
Oh no.
I'm hitting you with Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. I felt like this, and maybe even the next album I have for you, was cheating, but I couldn't resist.
Cheating in what way? Cheating and being like, okay, this would have been higher.
In that of the bands that I've listed so far, this is probably the one I associate with you the most.
Really? All right. Okay. I mean, so in the way that you talk about 25 to Life so passionately, I guess I talk about Pantera, at least like way back in the day, like college
that's
days.
The thing.
Yeah.
I think about when we first met each other, and I was an obnoxious Slayer fan, and you were wearing your Black Label Society vest and talking about Dimebag, because, you know, we were only a few years out from when he was unfortunately taken from us. So I think part of it was that his loss was still fresh in a lot of our memories at the time, since we were only 3 or 4 years out. But yeah, I remember us and a few other folks talking about Dimebag all the time. And so I felt like this was one that I wanted to save and see what you got. So yeah, it's number 4 or number 5 for you at this point.
Shoot. All right. I can't in good conscience put it at number 5. It has to be number 4, just because I have no other choice. The guitar playing on this album is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Cemetery Gates alone is a masterclass in guitar playing. The Art of Shredding alone is a masterclass in guitar playing. The only thing that makes me feel somewhat more comfortable with having it at number 4 over Limp Bizkit is that I like Far Beyond Driven is probably my favorite Pantera album.
Okay.
Um,
See, I had a feeling that Cowboys wasn't your favorite, but Cowboys has a lot of my favorite Pantera songs. It's the album I have the most experience with, so that was also kind of my inspiration for these albums, was like, okay, these are bands that I know John likes, but albums that I like, because like a song that I love off of this album, possibly my favorite, is Shattered. I fucking love Shattered.
Yeah. Shattered. Oh my God. Domination is on this album.
Domination, the fucking Domination breakdown riff that everyone loves.
Damn it. Oh, Heresy is so good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my. Medicine Man. Medicine Man is one of those songs you talked about recently, how, like, on Cowboys from Hell, you can kind of hear how things were still, like, a little bit glammy.
Yeah.
And I feel like Medicine Man is one of those songs. Oh, man. Message in Blood on this, too? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Primal Concrete Sledge.
Oh fuck, that's a good one.
Fuck.
I remember in high school listening to Primal Concrete Sledge. It was playing through my headphones, and someone was like, "Chris, is your CD skipping?" And then I was like, "No, that's just the way the song goes." And someone else was even like, "No, yeah, that's how Primal Concrete Sledge goes. It sounds like that. That's what it sounds like."
Oh damn. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, number 4.
Yeah, it's number 4. It's locked in.
This is the bet I've made. Lock it in.
Yep.
All right, Chris. So, my next album, in either your number 1 or number 2 spot, is The Bouncing Souls by The Bouncing Souls.
Bouncing Souls by The Bouncing Souls. This is a really good fucking album. I love The Bouncing Souls. This and Maniacal Laughter are 2 albums that I listen to all the time. And again, I have trouble remembering. I think this has like Cracked and Kate is Great. I'm trying to remember what else is off of this album. I know I love it. I know it's a great album. I know there's a lot of good stuff off of it. This has been a fun list of albums you've given me. And I'm really curious what the 5th album is going to be. And I kind of just want to leave the number 1 spot open for it. So just out of sheer curiosity, I'm putting The Bouncing Souls at number 2, and you might hit me with something crazy, and I'm going to end up with a number 1 that like wouldn't even make a top 50, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, Bouncing Souls, see, I'm going to look it up because I'm blanking on the names. I want to say, again, I feel like they're another band that doesn't always say the names of songs in their songs. And I'm trying to remember the names of songs off of this album. Oh, Single Successful Guy. I fucking love that song. Such a good song. That's a great song. And yeah, of course, Shark Attack, which is them making fun of themselves about like they go on tour just to eat other people's food.
Oh, is that the one?
I love Shark Attack. That's a good one.
I'm trying to remember what episode you brought them up in, and you mentioned that song too.
Yeah,
was that the punk?
I don't remember, because I know I've also brought them up because there's a song of theirs that I think I put on like our Heartbreak playlist or our John and Chris's Infinite playlist, where it was like a mixtape we're making for someone. So yeah, I've brought them up a couple times. But yeah, the toilet song is a fun one. Who's gonna throw the toilet off the roof? But yeah, it's see, especially Single Successful Guy. Holiday Cocktail Lounge is good. East Coast Fuck You. There's a lot of good stuff off of this. I feel good at putting this at number 2. But yeah, it's, Bouncing Souls. I love the Bouncing Souls. The Bouncing Souls? The Bouncing Souls? Those fucking New Jersey mooches? They go on tour. Oh, they ate all the... I remember he says they ate all the Yoo-hoo. And then the one is like, I hate the Bouncing Souls. And it's got like the Jaws theme playing in the background. That's a good one. I love the Bouncing Souls. Yeah, lock it in at number 2. Why not?
All right,
I can't wait to see what my number 1 is going to be. All right, and in opposition to that, are you ready to find out which album you're ranking at number 5?
Yeah, let's do it.
The 5th album I've got for you is Lamb of God, Ashes of the Wake.
I regret every decision I've ever made. This is cruel and unusual punishment, Chris.
This is why I put the albums in this order, and this is why
Yeah.
I put this list together, and I was like, this is the best.
Man. Wow. Okay. God damn it.
Yeah?
This is the album that got me into Lamb of God. No, I'm sorry. As the Palaces Burn is the album that got me into Lamb of God. Ashes of the Wake, however, is a classic.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh my God. I just got to see this album live.
Oh, yeah?
All the way through. They did their tour with Mastodon. I got to see them at Mohegan Sun. I was right up at the barrier.
Yeah.
And they played the album in full. Wow. Okay. I'm trying to find a reason that I'm okay with it sitting at the number 5 slot. They didn't bring Chris Pollard or Alex Skolnick out for the instrumental where they had like guest spots doing their solos on the album. So that'll be my solace right there. That'll be my reasoning why I'm okay with it. Break You is a great song. Oh shoot. Fucking Omerta.
Yeah.
Faded Line, Hourglass. Oh shoot. Damn it. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I mean, it is what it is. I did this to myself.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got me. You got me there.
That was the goal. Like I said, my goal with this was I want you at the end of this to be like exactly the way you are now. Fuck,
Yeah.
why is this album stuck at this spot? That's what I was hoping for. And it worked out. My
Okay.
idea worked out.
It worked out perfectly.
Now let's see how it worked out for me.
Marvelous gambit, sir. All right. So in your number 1 spot, Chris,
Yes.
on your blind ranking, sits the slam classic from Suffocation themselves, Pierced from Within, sitting at your number 1 spot.
So here's the thing. I've listened to some Suffocation. I have no idea what's off of this album. I have
Oh,
no
boy.
idea what songs are off of this album.
You know what's funny is like this doesn't have the same taste of like, haha, I got you.
Yeah.
As having me have Lamb of God in the number 5 spot.
Yeah.
Below Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. Yeah. And here I'm like, oh, yeah, fucking an album I've never listened to. Sure, I'll rank that at number 1 above Bouncing Souls and AFI. But yeah, I could not name you a single song.
You know what's funny?
Album.
What's funny is I was going, so little peek behind the curtain. I had a 6th song that I was like, do I throw this in instead of Bouncing Souls? Do I throw this in instead of 25 to Life? And I was gonna save it for the number 1 spot, but I felt like this would be funnier. But that was Chainsaw Dismemberment by Mortician.
See, in that album, I've listened to. And
Okay.
I because I think I've talked about it recently.
Yeah.
how I like that album. And so yeah, I still probably wouldn't put it at number 1, but sure, we could put that at number 1. It's because there's good stuff off of that. I'll listen to the title track, which the first half is a clip from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. But yeah, I've listened to that because I think we were talking about it because the songs are so short. It was on our Gone in 60 Seconds episode.
Yeah, there we go.
So that's why I was talking about Mortician, because there's like 30 songs on that album and they're all like 45 seconds long. Yeah, that's a good one. They're from Long Island, I think.
Yes.
So,
yeah, they are.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Long Island boys, put them at number 1.
So rounding out your list, Chris, the way you've got it laid out is Pierced from Within by Suffocation at number 1. Sitting at number 2 is Bouncing Souls by the Bouncing Souls. Severed Survival by Autopsy is at number 3. Number 4 is The Art of Drowning by AFI. And number 5 is Friendship, Loyalty, Commitment by 25 to Life. Having gone into this completely blind, now knowing what albums are on here, how would you rank these albums?
See, when I didn't know what was ahead of me, I felt really good about AFI at number 4.
Uh-huh.
But now that we've gone through all of them, I kind of want to put that at number 1.
Okay. All right.
I think I would put, only because of how much time I've spent with that album, I'd probably put that at number 1. Let's put Autopsy at number 2.
Okay.
Bouncing Souls, 25 to Life, and then Suffocation defaults to number 5 because I never listened to that album. And for you, as you currently ranked your albums, is Ghost, Opus, Eponymous at number 1, Black Label Society's Mafia at number 2, Limp Bizkit, Significant Other at number 3, Pantera, Cowboys from Hell at number 4, and Lamb of God's Ashes of the Wake at number 5. And just for fun, since you did give me a 6th album, I'll list a 6th album for you if you want to add it into your list anywhere. And I took this off because I felt like it was a little too obvious, because I know you've talked about how much you enjoy this album. Metallica's And Justice for All.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot, I probably would have thrown that in like number 4 or something had I known. Or no, like having gone into it, if you would have thrown it in there, I probably would have tried to save it around number 4. Okay, but now knowing this cruel list of albums that you hit me with, I want to say I would leave Ghost at number 1. The number 2 slot would go to Pantera. Number 3 slot would go to Lamb of God. Number 4 would be Limp, and number 5 would be Black Label. That's
right.
how I would order them. Yeah. Now knowing what albums are on there. Yeah, which I think is just a telltale sign of how my taste has evolved over time.
Yeah.
You've got 2 of what were, I don't know, whatever. Not R word. Were or still are 2 of my favorite bands at the bottom. And then what I feel like is it's like the list of influence from 3 up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Like Lamb of God is amazing. I love them. I love their songwriting. I love Randy's vocals. Pantera at number 2. Dime is just the last guitar hero I think that we've ever had. Like someone who could truly play on each single string and still craft a solo that you could hum back to yourself.
Yeah.
And Ghost, for the reasons previously listed, I think still sits at that number 1 spot. So I'm all right with that. Had I known, though, I would not have had Lamb of God in the number 5 spot. Is the lesson that I'm trying to share here.
Oh yeah, it's as the list was going on, I was getting so excited because, like I said, I put these albums in this specific order because I was like, John is going to be stuck putting Lamb of God wherever he leaves for himself.
Yeah.
Which is probably, other than Pantera, the other band I associate with hanging out with you is fucking Lamb of God. And so, yeah, I knew it was going to be fun leaving that as the last one.
Cruel and unusual punishment. So, Chris, I think either way, each of us has at least 5 stellar albums to pick from. No matter which way we order them, 5 bangers nonetheless. But why don't you give us your suggestion for this week?
So my suggestion is AFI's The Art of Drowning. Had I known the albums ahead of time, like I said, this would probably be number 1 of these albums. And like I mentioned, songs like A Story at 3, Sacrifice Theory, 6 to 8 is off of this album, which is a good one. And obviously the hit off of this is Days of the Phoenix. A great album, like I mentioned when I talked about it, kind of a transitional period for AFI where they're doing their horror punk thing just about to hit it big with Girls Not Grey off of Sing the Sorrow, but they're coming out of their really SoCal punk type of stuff they did on their first 3 albums. Black Sails is sitting in the middle there, but yeah, I feel comfortable putting AFI, Art of Drowning, at number 1, and I also suggest people check it out. It's a great AFI album. It's a great look at a version of AFI that I prefer and think is the superior version of AFI to an extent. So yeah,
you don't like their goth phase now?
Or whatever is fucking Davey Havoc's Bob Ross look now.
Yeah.
You know?
Desert sex god.
Yeah.
I think is how he described it.
But yeah, definitely check out AFI if you haven't already. I feel like I talk about them all the time anyway. AFI and the Art of Drowning.
That's a solid choice. It's a solid choice. I'm happy that I shook up the list the way that I did. I was gonna throw one ska band in there, but I didn't know who to pick. So I stuck with Suffocation. So it's funny how that worked out. So for my suggestion this week is the album that sits in my number 1 spot, blind or not, is Opus Eponymous by Ghost. I'm such a whore for this band. I really am. I love that with each iteration, the commitment to the bit during that era allows each album to be truly a time capsule of where the band was at that time. And especially considering that this was years in the making.
Yeah.
I think that Opus is just such an incredibly strong album.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's to the point. It is dark. The imagery is all there. The lore, when you start diving deeper into the band, is all there. And it's few and far between where you get an instrumental that starts out with some sort of like harpsichord that goes into a distorted organ, that goes into a guitar solo, that ends up in acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
It's great. It's an awesome album. So go check out Opus Eponymous by Ghost. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Scrap Metal Podcast. The time has come for us to pack up our gear, but we'll be back to rock out with you in the next episode.
Stay metal, everyone.
Good night.